U.S. President Donald Trump says he could announce a replacement for fired FBI Director James Comey by late next week. He told reporters it was possible he could name someone by Friday, before he leaves for his first foreign trip. Defense lawyer Alice Fisher was the first candidate interviewed at the Justice Department, U.S. media report. Acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe and two others are also expected to meet Attorney General Jeff Sessions and his deputy Rod Rosenstein on Saturday. But about 11 people in all are reportedly being considered for the position, which requires confirmation in the Senate. President Trump has faced a backlash for sacking Mr. Comey, who had been investigating alleged Russian meddling in the U.S. election. He told reporters traveling with him on Air Force One that he wanted to move quickly to find a new FBI director. He said the candidates were outstanding people and very well known. Fox News quoted a government source as saying they were moving quickly and expeditiously to find a replacement, adding, "We're doing our due diligence, we are not going to cut any corners." One of those being interviewed is Republican Senator John Cornyn, the second highest-ranking member of the Senate and a former Texas Attorney General. Mr. McCabe was the FBI's deputy director until he stepped up after the abrupt departure of his boss. He appeared to contradict the White House this week when he described the inquiry into alleged Russian meddling in the U.S. election as a highly significant investigation. He also cast doubt on White House claims that Mr. Comey had lost the confidence of FBI staff. Ms. Fisher was an assistant attorney general for the Justice Department's criminal division. She currently works at a law firm. The other candidate named in the U.S. press is New York Appeals Court Judge Michael Garcia, a former New York prosecutor. Meanwhile, President Trump is facing growing questions about whether he secretly recorded his conversations with Mr. Comey. In a tweet, Mr. Trump appeared to issue a thinly veiled threat to Mr. Comey, saying he had better hope there are no tapes of their conversations. The BBC's Laura Bicker in Washington says Mr. Trump was referring to a private White House dinner in January during which the president claims Mr. Comey assured him he was not being investigated over alleged links to Russia. Mr. Trump seemed to be suggesting that he would release recordings if Mr. Comey gave his own version of events, she adds. In an interview with Fox News, Mr. Trump said that he didn't want to discuss the matter and that all he wanted was for Mr. Comey to be honest. President Trump has previously told NBC News that Mr. Comey requested the one-on-one dinner, but the former FBI director reportedly maintains it was the president who invited him. Mr. Comey had said he was uneasy before the dinner, according to former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper. On Friday, the White House denied reports that President Trump had also asked Mr. Comey to pledge loyalty to him. According to a report in the New York Times, Mr. Comey said he would offer the president honesty, but not loyalty. Mr. Trump's press secretary Sean Spicer has rejected the report. Mr. Trump's behavior has provoked fresh comparisons between his administration and that of disgraced President Richard Nixon, who famously recorded conversations, speeding his downfall during the Watergate scandal. Senior Democrats on the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees wrote to the White House on Friday demanding copies of any recordings. John Conyers and Elijah Cummings' letter noted it is a crime to intimidate or threaten any potential witness with the intent to influence, delay or prevent their official testimony. President Donald Trump said Saturday he would act quickly to appoint a new FBI director following his controversial dismissal earlier this week of James Comey, a move that was still reverberating around Washington. Trump's administration, embroiled in a deepening crisis over the sacking and its shifting explanation of events, will interview the first 4 candidates for the post on Saturday, U.S. media reported. "We can make a fast decision," Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One before flying to Southern Virginia, where he is set to deliver a commencement address at Liberty University, an evangelical Christian school. The White House has provided no set timeline for the process of replacing Comey. Asked if the decision or an announcement could take place before he leaves for Saudi Arabia on Friday, Trump said, "Even that is possible." He described the candidates being considered for the post as outstanding people, very well known, and of the highest level. On Saturday, Attorney General Jeff Sessions and his deputy Rod Rosenstein will interview acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe, Texas Senator John Cornyn, former federal prosecutor Michael Garcia and former Assistant Attorney General Alice Fisher, the New York Times reported, citing a source familiar with the meetings. They are among a dozen candidates being considered for the job. The choice of a new FBI director seen as independent from the White House will be closely scrutinized as Trump faces an avalanche of criticism for firing Comey, the man in charge of a criminal probe into his campaign's possible ties to Russia. The 49-year-old McCabe, a career FBI agent, has taken part in a number of high-profile investigations, including probes into the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013 and the attacks against U.S. installations in Benghazi, Libya in 2012. McCabe contradicted Trump this week, telling lawmakers that Comey enjoyed widespread support among the FBI's rank and file, and that the probe into alleged Russian meddling in the election was a highly significant investigation. Cornyn, the number 2 Republican in the Senate, served as Texas Attorney General before his election to the Senate in 2002. Garcia served as Assistant Secretary for Immigration and Customs Enforcement and U.S. Attorney under former President George W. Bush. Fisher headed the Justice Department's Criminal Division, also under Bush. Other candidates include former New York Police Commissioner Raymond Kelly, former Republican Senator Kelly Ayotte, and South Carolina Congressman Trey Gowdy, a former federal prosecutor who headed the Benghazi investigation in the House. Trump's nominee must be confirmed in the Senate, where Democrats and some Republicans have fiercely criticized Comey's firing. The president is reported to have asked Comey whether he could be loyal to him during a dinner meeting in February shortly after his inauguration. Comey promised only that he could be honest, the New York Times reported. Trump denied that account in a Fox News interview on Friday.